We were going for a funeral, and we were like, okay, our family's devastated. We're going to tell the family there about the gift of life that's coming. And so we tell the whole family, we're having a baby. It's going to be amazing. And everyone's so excited. And it was on that trip that the bleeding had continued. And I just go to the hospital after a couple of days of bleeding, and they do all the tests, and they come in and they say, you're having an ectopic pregnancy. Your baby is not in your fallopian tube, and it's exploded, and you have internal bleeding. And if you don't get in surgery in a matter of hours, you could die. And I remember just being like, how is a baby not where it's supposed to be? Like, my God is so miraculous, and I have seen him move in so many radical ways. It's a mistake. They don't know. They have no idea. We go in surgery, and I remember wholeheartedly believing with every single part of my heart, I'm going to be the first time in human history that a doctor moves a baby from a fallopian tube into the womb. And I am telling you, I would have banked my whole life on it. And I woke up, and I remember waking up from anesthesia and seeing Zach's face, and just this dream that's removed in an operating room that you're like, wait, I had all the faith. I felt it. There was this visceral, I know God is going to rescue this baby, and I'm going to tell the whole world about it. You're face to face with this really confusing experience of but you could have. You in one little breath, I sing it every single week. In one little breath, you could have done it. And yet I'm sitting in this hospital room in Hawaii, where I now can't even afford what this hospital is costing. And that started a 7-year journey of infertility. And again, at the beginning, I didn't know it was going to be 7 years, and I didn't know it was infertility. I thought it was just one loss, and we'd get pregnant later, and it would be, and I remember sitting in my counselor's office after, and she was like, what do you want to learn from this experience? And I remember just shooting off, didn't even think about it. I want to learn how to grieve with God. What does it look like to invite him into this grief? And learning that, grief is not a season, right? It's this companion. It's this ongoing friend that introduces us to the beauty of who Jesus is, and to the only hope of that someone could reach down. Grieving, it's not this sadness. It's what we do with what breaks. It's evidence that something really was wonderful, and the gift, you were gifted with something, and now that's sometimes taken, or maybe it's just the stagnancy of a dream that hasn't yet unfolded, And so infertility was really this invitation of just this apprenticeship of sorrow, to walk with Jesus is, and people don't say that. People don't say, hey, when you come into a life of faith, it's this apprenticeship of sorrow and joy. But there's so much sorrow that comes with infertility, because it's a good dream. It's a holy dream. And so when you can get through all of this stuff that's taken the throne of your heart, and you can sit in a delay, or you can sit in the disappointment that comes month after month, or you can you're introduced to this man who doesn't leave. There's this nearness that I would not replace for anything in unanswered prayer. There's this tethering to him, it's this suffering, it's this umbilical cord to him. Because you're at the end of the day, I now realize what I thought I wanted. It's not that I don't want it, but I want you, Lord. I want what you want for me. You cannot sprint and grieve at the same time. There's a natural cadence to grief that it requires this stillness of the soul. It's very confronting. It's very exposing, right? It tends to ask a lot of questions. Infertility really, really invited me into such a deep honesty with Jesus, and such a deep honesty of faith. And it made me ask really hard questions. And I'm so thankful that God does not shy away from our hard questions.